Before you even jump from the helicopter, there's a ton of tips you need to know to upgrade your RedSec game, like changing your mini-map size in your HUD settings. By default, your on-foot view distance is 160 meters. You'll want to max it out to 300. This gives you double the range on your mini-map, which is extremely important for spotting teams. After that, create some custom weapons for RedSec. You're looking for very specific things when it comes to the ideal weapon, especially compared to multiplayer. Making RedSec-specific guns is a must. For these weapons, you'll always want suppressors. In RedSec, you don't need to fear the worst player in the lobby, you need to fear the best, because that's who you need to beat. By running suppressors, you'll stay hidden on the minimap when firing outside of 15 meters, keeping you much safer from these potential threats that are looking to hunt you down. Thermal scopes are also very strong. Looking into the distance or through the debris of buildings and plants can make it difficult to see players and track them during gunfights. A thermal scope is the best way to spot out players without the glint that a sniper rifle gives off. Tip number 5 is to fully understand each class and how they work. They're not identical to multiplayer, so make sure you read through each one of these to figure out what you need the most. Each class has default gadgets and then a set of class abilities that you can upgrade with XP throughout the match. Assault is the first, and while Assault sucks in multiplayer, their ability to plate up 33% faster is really strong in RedSec. Don't be fooled by their increased capture rate though. The redeployment is only 24 seconds instead of 29, which is a difference you barely notice. Engineer is next, and they basically just get a ton of perks for dealing with vehicles. Not a bad idea to have one in your squad, but not completely necessary. The best part about Engineer is guaranteeing an SMG out of these orange class crates. These crates will always contain a weapon and utility for the class that opens them, so if you need a marksman rifle, have a recon on your squad open it for you and it will guarantee one along with the weapon upgrade for it. If you find yourself struggling with ammo and supplies during matches, then bringing a support might be the best choice. Their supply packs will recharge ammo for anyone standing next to them for a short period of time. Supports can also hold 2 extra plates with their first perk, making them a strong option. The best class of all though is recon. Information is power in this game, and with the recon drone, you've essentially got a free UAV that constantly recharges. Between your recon drone and your beacon, getting caught off guard happens far less often. It also allows for smart positional play, which is the key to winning in RedSec. Once you've finally loaded into a match though, winning the early game is extremely important. It's what sets you up to have the best odds later on. If you're looking to just improve at RedSec, then doing hyper aggressive hot drops is one way to level up your skills. Because you have redeploy, you'll get a second chance to come back to the fight and get more practice. Rather than hiding out the entire game before your first fight, you're getting reps in and actually learning. During the drop, most people are impatient and will jump out early on. Jumping towards the end of the flight path means less people to deal with and a higher chance you make it to the late game. It also means more loot and easier missions without being in constant fights. Jumping at the edge of the zone is also nice as there are less enemies, meaning more loot for you. But don't drop too close to the circle or you'll be pushed out before you even have time to loot the area. Remember, the circle in RedSec is constantly moving, so by the time you land, it's already on you. And if you're not the jump leader, change your camera. On PC, the keybind is X by default. This will allow you to look around as you drop to see if any other teams are dropping with you. This is crucial information to know it's safe from the very start. Taking vehicles after your initial looting is done is the best way to reposition and get to more advantageous points in the circle without having to run through the open or get in dangerous fights. Just don't be like Tony. Tony is a silly guy that doesn't deploy his parachute. There are some key things to keep in mind to get the best loot as fast as possible when you drop. Armored vehicles will always have a blue weapon inside of them. This makes them a great spot to land on your initial drop because you guarantee a strong weapon from the very start. An ambulance will always have defibs and a plate in them. Having one set of defibs in the squad is always a great idea to keep more people in the fight. If you have any more than just one, you might be wasting your gadget spot. These orange and black vans will also have a plate and some sort of weapon. The black crates are more rare and will always have a purple air support in them, like a UAV, airstrike, or mortar, along with a gun and a weapon upgrade. In squads, you can also find tank keycards in some of these, making them extremely strong. If you're playing as an engineer, you can open these safes with a repair tool, which will always have a blue gun in them. In a worst case scenario where you can't find a weapon, vehicles are a safe way to retreat, or you can hop in the gun on them to fight back. Driving around and swapping to the gunner seat can actually be a very effective way to deal with multiple opponents at once, giving you some serious fragging power. And if you down an enemy, performing a takedown on them will ping their other squad mates. This is great for the early game when most squads are slightly split up and trying to loot. It can be risky at times, so try not to be too silly with them. That's also why you'll want to skip past your revive if you go down and the enemy is pushing up on you. That way they can't perform this takedown and your squad will have a better chance to win the team fight. Another reason recon is so good is because of their second perk. If you have it unlocked and down a player, their squad mates within 25 meters will be revealed for 5 seconds. Blatant walls are pretty strong. And at the start of the game, you'll want to start doing the missions as soon as possible. Mission XP will level up your class abilities and give you some really strong rewards. Getting better weapons, more supplies, and air support streaks are all very helpful. These yellow intel cases will just give you straight XP towards your class ability. Grabbing them early early on will get your perks to you sooner, like that recon perk that gives you blatant walls. Again, pretty nice. UAVs have a very large range, so be sure to open up your full map to figure out exactly where teams are. You'll also see what direction enemies are in on your directional compass at the top. That bigger minimap option also helps a lot because you won't have to open up your big map as often and you'll get way more value out of your UAVs. If you spot a UAV in the sky, it tells you that there are players in that area. The UAV will orbit the center point of the player that activated it, giving you a general idea of where that squad is before you push. Or you can shoot it down with a launcher. Grabbing a launcher in the early game is very useful. Having them sooner rather than later stops you from getting screwed over by vehicles throughout the match, especially tanks, which are very strong. At this point, you've made it to the middle game, and these next tips are what will help you dominate throughout it in order to advance to the end game. Tanks are extremely strong and a great way to get through the middle game. You can literally just drive them around the map, mowing people down. Anyone in the open does not stand a chance here. They don't come fully stocked with ammo though, so try to get to these vehicle resupply stations as soon as you can and head back to them if you need to restock. To get a tank in the first place, pick the mission reward with the tank keycard, then open up one of these trailers after collecting your reward. This will take a bit of time and create a loud warning signal alerting everyone in the area. And if you're doing an invasion mission, you can shoot the surveillance cases to get them quickly from a distance. However, meleeing them can be smarter at times to avoid alerting other teams. Sometimes your capture missions will be in a more open area. Be sure to continue moving around instead of standing still. This will help you evade any potential snipers while giving you the mobility to look around. Be cautious when collecting your mission rewards. You can get crushed by the airdrops and you will instantly die. There's no revives here, you can only get redeployed, and my poor friend Tony found this out the hard way.
I actually can't, dude.
Bro. Also try to avoid clearings in areas with no cover. You're an easy target and have nowhere to escape to. Using walls, buildings, and natural landscape to your advantage is going to help you stay alive. Even running along a fence is better than nothing. You can cut fences and hedges with your knife to get through them easier and evade gunfire. And if you're trying to move quickly, pull out your knife by holding down your melee button. This is great when trying to escape bad situations or get into better positions. If you have defibs, you'll also be faster with these out. If you do get trapped in a bad spot, a precision airstrike or a mortar can force the other squad to retreat. Use this time to escape safely and get to a better position. The airstrikes can also be used for other things though. Instead of deploying them on enemies, you can just use them as thermal binoculars as the perfect tool to spot out players. Like thermal scopes and the recon drone, you can pick up heat signatures through plants and debris, spotting players you wouldn't normally see. Or you can use them to confirm kills that you aren't able to capitalize on. Also, just don't be scared to push other squads. Killing squads makes space, and space wins games. Just try to always have cover near you so you can take a second to replay safely if you need to. And always try to have more cover than the enemy that you're fighting. Whoever has more cover has a bigger advantage in the gunfight. Having cover makes you a smaller target to hit, meaning the other person has to be more precise in order to win the fight. Taking the high ground will help you gain an advantage as well. Always be looking for positional advantages to make your fights even easier. And if it's at longer range, don't spray. Tap fire. This will minimize bloom and make it more likely that you actually land your shots. Setting your gun's firing setting to single shot will actually decrease the recoil if you compare it directly to tap firing. This is just one more way to gain an advantage at these distances. But in close range, hip firing is actually really strong. This keeps your movement speed up, which makes you a harder target to hit. Try to stay mobile as much as possible and avoid proning at all costs. You should only prone when you need to get in cover, as it makes you an easy target to take out. Taking out other squads is also great for getting loot though. If you're low on plates, killing people is one of the best ways to resupply them before you head into the endgame. Now that you're in the endgame, it's time to lock in and win. To deal with tanks at this point, anti-tank gear will drop and many players will gain rocket launchers, making tanks easier to take out and riskier to play in. Having a backup plan of what to do if your tank is destroyed can make or break a match. As a last resort, if you get close enough to a tank, you can place a thermite charge in, no matter what class you are. This deals damage over time to the players inside, essentially forcing them out of the tank. I haven't pulled this one off yet, but Tony has a couple times and it's absolutely clutch. Staying in cover and having patience are extremely important at the end of the game, as people run from the circle and become exposed. Even just blasting the ground with a rocket launcher can be used to make a divot as a last resort. I've never actually had to do this, but it is possible. If an enemy team has to push into you because of the circle, try to hold your fire until they have no cover to guarantee the win. Having patience is very powerful in RedSec. And remember, the circle will instantly kill you. There are no playmaking abilities through the zone like other battle royales. I happen to make this mistake mistake a few times throughout my early days of RedSec. But following along the edge of the fire does make you more difficult to see and harder to hear. This makes for some great late game plays to get behind squads and get into stronger positions. You won't regenerate health when near the fire though, so it can be pretty risky and should be executed with a degree of caution. Our final bonus tip is to subscribe to the channel for more Battlefield 6 tips, and most importantly of all, just have fun. Having fun will actually make you play a lot better, and if you want to develop your strategic brain a little more, then go watch this video where I show you how to make multiplayer easy.